British family on a yacht cruise stumbled upon Site B.
Now it's only a matter of time before this lost world is found and pillaged.
Hopefully we've kept this island quarantined and contained, but I'm in shock about all this. That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and then screaming.
What the hell was that?
Go. As fast as you can.
I need you to send rescue immediately.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in the history of bad ideas.
Let's get this movable feast underway. Don't move!
What is it?
Mommy's very angry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Ranked and Reviewed. I am your host, as always, Tomye West, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus. How you going, Barry?
Salutations.
How you been?
Yeah, I've been getting by.
Nice.
Luckily, not being threatened to be run over by a guy on a bike in Kmart.
Like we were tonight, yeah. Hold on, just quickly, before we get into things, I'm just changing the color of our fucking names and shit here to better suit the vibe of our show. Now,
We also named Justin Timberlake.
Tonight we went to Kmart and we had to return something that Alan received that was completely fucked beyond fucked, and looked like that either the postman was like, well, I'm going to throw this into the back of my truck and also open it because it has some parts in it that I need because it was missing parts. And then fucking did the box back up and threw it back onto the porch when he was delivering it, like, fucking here you go, cunt, here's your fucking shit. You had to take that back. So we went to Kmart and that was a bitch after we went to a house inspection, which was really good. But then you went and you had to return it and get a new one. And we were served by 1997's Justin Timberlake, 1998, 1990, whenever NSYNC first came out, Justin Timberlake, legit, he looked like Justin Timberlake, the blonde locks and everything, like the short hair. And we were just singing Backstreet Boys and NSYNC songs while we were lining up because there was a fair big line of people returning their other shit that was broken by our.
And the people that just rage quit the line as well.
They were just like, oh, nah, these people are too good at lining up. I can't beat them. So they just rage quit. But anyway, it was a very fucking interesting night. We got some KFC. I opened up a box of Pokemon cards and managed to get two of the most hardest cards in the set to get. So that was a good opening. But for all of you unacquainted, for all of you who don't know, this is Ranked and Reviewed. This is a spin-off show from our podcast series called Loud, a pop culture podcast. But we started doing this as a bit of fun and decided we should keep doing it because it seems to be doing better numbers than a lot of our other content. So this is where we take all the movies from a franchise and rank them and review them for you. And sometimes that'll be retro franchises, sometimes that'll be mid-2000, any age of franchises. But we also try to do ones that are leading up to a movie with a new release coming out. And that's exactly what we're doing right now for our Jurassic Park Ranked and Reviewed series. Each and every week up until June, when the new one releases, we are going to be reviewing a Jurassic Park movie from the series, starting from Jurassic Park, which we did last week. Go check it out if you haven't. All the way up until when the new movie releases, we'll be doing that one, and it'll release on the same day that the movie comes out. So
the movie is definitely called Jurassic Park Dominion.
yeah, everyone says it's Jurassic World, and I'm sick of everyone correcting me. So for the simple fact of that, it is now Jurassic Park, baby. So
there you go. Cinemas are rebadging and stuff as well. That's how much influence we have. Like
exactly. And look, man, look, I'm glad that I'm here with my friend. Oh, you never thought I'd cut it out, but I did, mate. I cut it out. So, you know, you can join me and for a really good show.
What was my name again?
I believe it is. Oh, dude, I was taking extra time to set up the podcast, all because of that.
I think it's comedy gold.
I had to download it from YouTube to MP4 converter. Get on it if you don't do it already, and put it into Premiere Pro. Cut the bit off with the plane at the start and the bit where he's sleeping and shit, and just cut it to the dinosaur where it's like Alan. So Alan, the sock puppet.
You got to make my sock puppet.
Well,
next time,
Alan. I'm going to get into this right now. So, with that, actually, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, like, and share. It would help us out a lot. And I don't know, we as we said last, not the last ranked and reviewed episode, our podcast episode, this doesn't pay the bills. So, if you could help us get to the point where this does pay the bills, we would thank you kindly. And with that, we've got a special announcement to make. We crossed our subscriber goal, baby. And we are now over 150 subscribers, which I don't know if everyone can remember that usually tunes in. Our first sub goal was 100. We gave away one of my custom-made Soultone signature series cymbals. And now we've reached our 150 sub goal. And we're actually over that now. I think we're at 158 as of today, which is really good. So guess what that means? It's prize time, baby. So it's a cool prize too. We're not going to show you what it is yet, and we're not going to say who is the winner. We'll get into that at the end of this episode. So for now,
I'll give you a hint and just go. We're not going to tell you.
No, I'm just going to. This might give a little bit of it away. It's a hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. Oh man, me and get a good kick out of that, you know. So like we're dumb. We are so stupid. Like I'm glad people tune in to watch our stuff and people get enjoyment out of it, but man, we are fucking stupid. So
it's pretty great.
It's great. It's great. It's awesome. So I guess me and Alan we'll get ready for this right now and get into our review for the second movie in the Jurassic World / Park / adventure / ride, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, which, I don't know, IMDb decided to correct me to, it's not called Jurassic Park, The Lost World, it's called The Lost World Jurassic Park, backwards, which is confusing. So, all right, before we get into it, we're going to give you a rough overview of the movie, which is this movie came out in 1997. It was rated PG-13. It goes for 2 hours and 9 minutes. It was directed by Steven Spielberg, written by the same person as the book from last time, but Michael Crichton, and he wrote the novel The Lost World, and David Coet, who wrote the first one. So the screenplay's by him as well. And it stars Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, Pete Postlewaite, whatever. And it has, yeah, and it has an IMDb rating of 6.5 out of 10. and it was nominated for 1 Oscar, and it had 4 wins and 28 nominations overall. It was a nominee for Best Effects and Visual Effects, and it was a nominee for a bunch of others. Like it was the nominee in the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, Academy of Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. So yeah, it had a fair amount of nominations for whatever. I don't know why, but I mean, it was probably a feat with some of the things in this movie, but I wouldn't say that it is anywhere near what Jurassic Park should be. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So before we get into it, let's sort of give you an overrun of the plot. And I'm just going to do it like I did last time, which is I'm not going to read anything because I fucking hate reading things without a teleprompter. It makes me sound like I can't fucking read. So we'll start from the top, which is Jeff Goldblum, who for now, for some reason, they decided would be the best idea to make the main character, which I love Jeff Goldblum, but we'll talk about it when we get into it. Jeff Goldblum finds out that there are some people trying to buy Jurassic Park and the DNA dinosaurs and stuff off the happy-go-lucky Willy Wonka dude from Jurassic Park. And he's pretty sick and in bed, and death is coming his way pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. So he gets to go see these people basically taking care of his estate and what's going to happen to the island and all those things. And the people looking after his estate and what's going to happen to the island aren't exactly in it for the best interests, and have decided that they're going to bring back these dinosaurs from the island to make a San Diego Jurassic Park version of what the original Jurassic Park was going to be before everything went tits up. So
because that's a fucking good idea, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, he approaches. Well, Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, goes to his house, and he is asked to go to the island. And Jeff Goldblum's like, "Fuck no! Am I going back to this island?" And then he's the dude that owns the park. I can't think of his name right now. We're just going to go with Willy Wonka. Says
John Hammond.
John Hammond. Willy Wonka.
John Wonka.
John Wonka says. Willie Hammond says. Well, that's fine, but we've already sent a wildlife photographer or whatever to the park, and he's like, "Oh well, who'd you rope into doing that?" And they're like, "Your wife or girlfriend or whatever it is, your fiance at the time." And he was like, he's like, "Well, I guess I better go back to the park that I just said, no, I'm not going. But don't worry, it's Site B. It's Site B. There's no fences. We didn't use it. There's lots of dinosaurs around, but it's all good." So he goes with Vince Vaughn, who apparently is a wildlife expert as well. And it turns in from a rescue mission, a rescue mission into a rescue mission for all of them. And they fight some poachers along the way and blah, blah, blah. That's the plot. I don't need to go into specifics any further than that, but that's the plot. And it's a little bit more convoluted than Jurassic Park, I admit that. But that was still easier than me reading it, and gives you a better idea of what Willie Hammond or John Wonka was doing. And yeah, let's man, I'm so fucking shit with plots. I'm just like, hey, the dinosaurs are on the island again, and there's people on the island that shouldn't be on there again that need to get the fuck off the island. That's all. So so that's our overview of what happens in the movie. So before we get into our thoughts, is there anything you want to add on to that quickly, Alan?
Why would you bring dinosaurs to America? Not that I'm adding, I'm just questioning there, but...
And do they have any more dinosaurs on this boat? I can't remember. I watched it, but I'm having them, except for the T-Rex and the T-Rex baby.
They just had the T-Rex, I think, which
exactly
somehow navigated its massive fucking head into rooms on the ship without smashing and ate people.
See, I'm just confused. They were going to open up a Jurassic Park, San Diego site or whatever with one dinosaur. So that'd be almost like Universal Studios being like, hey, we're opening up an Australian Universal Studios with the Back to the Future ride. What else? Just the Back to the Future ride. Like, Who the fuck wants to go to the? I know it's a T-Rex and people are like, whoa, but in this world, like, these people know T-Rex has existed. Yeah, they're on an island that you can't get to and they're not on a show like a zoo, but like, it's not like this, like, I don't know, man. Maybe you have a different view on why they would have wanted to set up a Jurassic Park with only one dinosaur if they were going to do the whole King Kong thing, which is like keep it strapped to a fucking stage and let people come and watch it and take photos with it for like $10 each or whatever. I don't know. But we'll get into that now, exactly, with our thoughts on the movie. So I'll start with you, Alan.
It's better than I remember it being, but it just, I have a lot of questions. There's a lot of things about it that make me go, what? Okay.
Me too. So
I will say though, I think even though they never get velociraptors right, and I've never understood, like, I get it's sci-fi, and a lot of dinosaurs they get wrong, but I think from what I've seen, which is just the original trilogy, these are my favorite raptors. I think that's one thing I like about this movie.
yeah, well, the Raptors are awesome, but I mean, what did you think of the premise? What did you think about change? Like, I know Michael Crichton wrote this book, yeah, so they obviously didn't write Alan Grant back into it for the second book, and I want to know what your thought is on Jeff Goldblum becoming the main character and sort of the story revolving more around him going back than Alan Grant and all those sorts of things, and also just where we end up with the story and how they just a finished presentation, what your overall expectation was going into it, what your thoughts are coming out of it, and what you think of the cast change up.
The ending made me go, what?
But that ending fucked with you. Wait till we get later on into the series.
But we'll talk about the ending for a second. So these dinosaurs that are being isolated and left alone, these flying dinosaurs, like, how are they keeping flying dinosaurs on an island? Like, is it an invisible net? Like, what's happening there? What are your fan
Do we
theories?
see the pterodactyls in this again?
Very end, you see the pterodactyl, and that made me go, what?
So, if we were, because it's fiction, obviously, is this island supposed to be located fictionally located towards another country or another island that we could look at in real life that isn't fiction? I'm going to look that up because, yeah, like, if it is set, if it is meant to be set where it's filmed, which they filmed in Hawaii, the same place that 50 First Dates is filmed. A lot of movies have been filmed at that location. So I wonder if it's actually meant to be set in a location close to Hawaii, because I believe that's where it is, close to Hawaii. So we'll go.
Combine those movies, 50 First Dates with dinosaurs.
So I'm looking at Island movie canon. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Isla Nublar was a remote island 120 miles west of Costa Rica and 87 miles east of the Muertes archipelago. So that's meant to be like, it's canon, obviously. So yeah, it's basically meant to be near Costa Rica. So yeah, how the fuck did Costa Rica and shit not see these pterodactyls? Like, they couldn't have left. It's not like the pterodactyls are like, oh, we don't leave this fucking island. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's dinosaurs that can't leave, and we can fucking fly, but we're not gonna leave.
Yeah, no shit. So that's interesting, man. But what annoys me about the ending is I have a problem with the ending because, again, they've done what a future movie does, which I didn't like, which was bring a dinosaur into the real world, because bring it back to America or whatever, because at the end of this, they put the baby back in the ship that's just crashed into the dock to bring the mum back to the ship. Yeah.
Yep.
We don't get an answer as to where that ship went afterwards. What they did with that T-Rex. Does it go back to the island? Because on Jurassic Park 3, that may have never happened. That may as well never happened. What happened in number 2? Because what are they going to do with the T-Rex in San Diego? Did they just take it back to the island, or did they fucking kill it? Because they're not going to just let it run free. So, I mean, I have a problem with the ending simply because it sets up a Jurassic Park 3 to be either answering questions or ignoring it. And they did exactly that, which was they ignored it. They didn't answer any questions from the second one. I feel anyway. From memory.
I still find it weird as well, this super well-organized, super well-funded dino capture endeavor. One, we're not prepared for if the dinosaur killed people on the boat. And two, when they're capturing dinosaurs, like they're not checking if the dinosaurs are in trouble or fucking dead. They're just there in cages, unmonitored.
Oh yeah, that's right. So they had like the cages and Goldblum and all that let all the dinosaurs out of the cages. So they had intentions to take the other dinosaurs back, which in my books means that maybe there were meant to be other ships with other dinosaurs on them to make this a Jurassic Park. But we never saw that ship. We never saw anything else but the T-Rex. And obviously, they're probably like, well, we can't fit all dinosaurs onto this ship now that we've got a T-Rex on this ship. So I guess that makes sense. But we never got an answer to what happened with the other dinosaurs that they were going to catch. We never got an answer to what they did with the dinosaur after it hit San Diego. It kind of just wrapped up in a bow, and they were like, well, he's back on the ship. Forget about it, you know?
And why was no one guarding these dinosaurs that were set free? Like,
I don't know, man.
Not no one, not one guy, just like making sure no one got to the dinosaurs.
I don't. There's a lot of questions I have about this movie, which is why did they not make Alan Grant come back? Like, for a movie franchise to have a sequel, and in the sequel, the main characters are already fucking gone, is a really weird move. Like, even going back, Indiana Jones, it's Indiana Jones again. Like, I know, like, there's always returning characters, returning cast. And while we did get returning characters in The Lost World, I'm just talking about this main staple cast where Jeff Goldblum was a main cast member, but he was more of like a B plot character. He was the guy that was on the side. Like, yeah, his performance was awesome, and yeah, his character's awesome in the movie, but again, it wasn't about him as much as it was about Ellie, Dr. Grant, and the kids and the park itself. So I'm confused as to who made the decision of where, like, Michael Crichton, why he was like, oh, well, when I write the new book for this movie, I'm not going to bring back the characters that people, I'm going to make it Ian Malcolm's movie. You know what I mean? And I think that was a bad decision, in my opinion, because Jeff Goldblum, I feel like, doesn't nail the main character vibe of this movie. I don't know if you feel the same.
No, I agree. He's not compelling.
He isn't at all. Like, he has some funny lines in it, like, oh, that's how it begins. Oh, and then there's running and screaming. Like, that's a funny line. And I like the opening scene where it looks like he's like got a tropical thing behind him. And then you realize like it's a city building, like whatever, like, you know, sign. That's really cool. There's like little touches like that. But I mean, I don't know why they would have ever left that fucking treetop refuge that's meant to like keep him safe. I would have stayed in that thing the whole movie. There's just a lot of questions in this movie. I'm like, okay, so how long was this movie set after the first movie? And when did Jeff Goldblum have this daughter that he cared so much about? Because his character in the first movie didn't seem like he cared about much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does he say in the first movie that he's got children at home? Because I believe that him and Sam, you know, Dr. Alan Grant, they talk about it in the car, don't they? Where he's like, you got kids? No. You want some? Yeah, you know. Does he mention that in the movie?
I don't think he does.
Because I just feel like how much time is meant to have passed since the first movie, and then suddenly he's got this daughter. You know what I mean? Like, and it's weird too because his current girlfriend, they mentioned that it's something to do with his ex. I'm sure. I don't know, man. Listen, the story's a mess. It's confusing. So I'm gonna.
And why does his girlfriend do that? What? Someone dating a dude that nearly died with dinosaurs. At what point does his girlfriend go, you know what would be a good idea?
To go to
Going to an island with dinosaurs. Like,
yeah, it's so silly. And what do you think about the CG in this compared to the first movie? Because I think that the CG in this movie is miles worse than the first.
tacky.
Like, it almost looks like this was made before the first one, and then the first one was made and they improved on it. You know what I mean?
I get the feeling that they maybe used less practical dinosaurs, less practical effects.
I'd say they did too because there is a lot more dinosaur in this movie than in the first one. I believe we had like 14 minutes of shots of dinosaurs in the last movie, and that was including CGI as well as the practical effects. So in this movie, we got a lot of the T-Rex in San Diego. We got a lot of the Velociraptors. We got a lot of scenes with like the Stegosauruses and shit like that. Yeah, like I think it is to do with the CGI. But dude, the CGI in Jurassic Park. Okay, so I had a look into. Remember, I was telling you last episode of why the CG is apparently better in that movie than current movies and even like in the franchise ones after that. It's because with the Tyrannosaurus Rex scene at night, right? It's lit by one source of light. One, that's it. Whereas CG from the other movies has been lit in multiple angles. So the darkness of that source of one light, makes that dinosaur sort of like mold into the background a little bit better, sort of not show that he's green screened as much. That's how the CG bits worked so well, is because of the way they were lit. The models were lit, or the 3D models were lit on the program, yeah? So obviously whoever's come in with these effects this time has lit it and been like, doing standard lighting. But I think it would have been better if they would have stuck to having the CG parts as much as set during the night as possible and left a lot of the day stuff up to practical effects, or just work the CG a little bit better. I don't know, but this movie just looks shocking with CG. It'd be nice to see how much. I'm sure we maybe look up in trivia how much it actually has of dinosaurs compared to the first, maybe. But I just feel like there could have been a lot of ways around it. Like, how much do you think of the Velociraptors was done practically compared to CGI on this movie? Because I feel like majority of this was CGI.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot more of especially the Raptors, was CG.
Yep.
They did not feel real at all.
They didn't. And I really do like the way the Raptors. My favorite scene. What's your favorite scene from the movie? First, we'll go into that, and then I'll tell you my favorite scene of it.
The dude getting ripped in half by two Tyrannosauruses is up there. But my favorite scene is probably the running through the field with the Raptors. That's
Thank you.
My favorite.
My favorite scene of the movie as well was when they're running through the field, and that overshot of them walking.
Yeah.
You can see the lines of the Velociraptors like coming to like engage them. That is such a cool part of the movie, and I feel like if they would have stuck to that feel, that vibe, that tone, we would have gotten a great movie. Like, instead of just throwing us with dinosaurs at us, have the Velociraptors not shown as much, but have them like hunting and preying and watching these people as they're going along the island, waiting for the perfect time. Like, I know they waited till in the fields and that's a perfect time, but what I'm saying is, had that been like before that had happened, that scene, had we had more of like a hunter vibe, like a predator vibe almost, like getting hunted by these Velociraptors and stuff. Because at the end of the day, they're sort of like the bad guy in this movie. They're sort of like the main dinosaurs in this movie that are like, in the first movie it was the T-Rex. and towards the end, the Velociraptors. But more emphasis was put on the Velociraptor this time as being like the dinosaur to watch out for than it was the T-Rex like in the first movie. And I feel if that's what they were going to go for, then they should have leaned more on the hunting, horror, running away, getting away from these Velociraptor things and watching them learn and all that. I think that would have been more of a fun movie than like the build-up of this girl getting eaten on the island by these little tiny dinosaurs who literally look like CGI crap. And then, you know, we got the whole explanation of what's going on at the park and all that. Like, we really didn't need all that setup for this movie, especially for the story that was told. For this kind of stuff, it should have been more.
As well, I'm fairly certain that scene with the little Compsognathus or whatever they are is from the first book.
Weird.
Like, yeah, it's interesting that they brought it into the second movie.
So did you go see this at the cinemas when it got released?
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. But I can also remember, no, I definitely did, because I can remember coming out of it and going, well, that just wasn't as good.
I saw it as a kid. And I went to go see it at Crown Casino, Melbourne, when they had just first opened up the cinemas there, like the brand new cinemas. So they had like luxury chairs and shit. And I remember they opened it the week that Jurassic Park: The Lost World opened back in 1997. So I remember watching this at the cinemas and not loving it as much as the first. But also I was a dumbass kid who, it was like, 4 years after the first? 97. So I would have been like 9, something like that. So I didn't really know. You know, I came out of it going, dinosaurs, pow! You know, woo! Like, and I think my parents were just like, and I was like, fuck yeah! You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's definitely not been a movie that I've wanted to watch a lot more again, like I did the first one, which to me means, in my heart, as a 9-year-old, I was like, oh, fuck that movie. You know what I mean? As a 9-year-old, I was like, who are you fucking kidding, mate? You know what I mean? So, yeah, look, the RV scene hanging off the cliff is a lot of fun too. It goes on for way too long.
Yeah.
If I was on that island and the baby Tyrannosaurus Rex was making the noise and it had a broken leg, I'd be like, fuck the T-Rex. Sorry.
Yeah, I get that they want to be compassionate and stuff, but the amount of time it would take them to heal that dinosaur, the mother would kill them.
What are you going to do? Even if you fucking like put a bandage around the leg, hold it up with a stick or whatever so it can walk properly, are you going to stay there to monitor this fucking foot? Like, this dinosaur, if you give it back to the mum, you're going to get eaten. If you leave it out with this fucking bandage on it, how long do you think a dinosaur is going to keep this bandage on in the wild for? Just let it go. But no, they're like, we got to help the dinosaur. But what if the mum comes? Oh, we got to fix the dinosaur. You fucking morons. You know
I feel that the dinosaur, the mum, did not give a shit.
The mum couldn't have cared that they were helping. The mum was like, you're helping.
Your food.
You're helping. You cunts are crazy. Mum's like, you fucking, I fooled you guys. Imagine the baby dinosaur just goes, joking, and walks off.
There's another thing as well. Like, they point out in it how territorial and protective the T-Rex are. How fucking long is that baby dinosaur screaming for and there's nothing happening? It's a good 10 minutes and nothing. It's like, yeah, super territorial, protective.
What a silly idea, man. What a silly idea. Like, you know what? How are we going to get them into danger with the T-Rex again? I know. The baby's in trouble. But why would they help the baby? Because they care about animals. Yeah, but it's a dinosaur. They're going to get eaten. Yeah, but they really care about animals. Like, that's what the writers were. The other writer was just like, okay. Steven Spielberg, fire this guy. Fire him. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like, okay, so Steven Spielberg went and did Schindler's List, yeah, after Jurassic Park. Went and did Schindler's List and kept saying, not ready to do a new Jurassic Park. Finished Schindler's List, and I'm pretty sure. Okay, so everyone, I recommend this. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch the documentary called Spielberg. It goes into every film he's done in order. It has interviews with him. It shows making of footage. And it's awesome. Like, Steven Spielberg's my favorite film director. So he went and did Schindler's List and then came back and did this movie and said he wanted to make a fun, adventure-packed, action-packed movie like Jurassic Park again. And I almost feel like this movie's like not far off feeling like a Steven Spielberg classic, but that little bit it is off if you're not looking at it from a perspective of me, who's like, well, I'm just happy he's back from doing something like Schindler's List, which isn't my type of movie. You know what I mean? Where if you're forgetting about the Steven Spielberg thing, that little part that's missing that makes a Steven Spielberg movie what a Steven Spielberg movie is actually really huge. You know what I mean? So from a perspective of someone who really likes the film, it's only missing it by a margin with some plot points and with some sort of like atmosphere. But for people that don't really care for Steven Spielberg, this movie's missing a ton, like a lot, to make it a good movie. I don't know if you feel that's a good explanation for how I feel about the movie. It's kind of confusing explaining it like that, but at the same time, I just love Steven Spielberg. So the moments that we do get of a Spielberg movie in this, they're everything I love about movies, you know. Whether it's The Goonies, which I don't think he directed, but he produced. Whether it's a Back to the Future, which I know he didn't direct, but he produced. Whether it's Jurassic Park 1, whether it's Ready Player One, all these movies have the Spielberg touch to it. Even Tintin feels like a Steven Spielberg movie. So this movie, to me, while it has some of the trappings that a Steven Spielberg film has, it just isn't hitting it quite like a Steven Spielberg film usually would. I don't know if that explains it a little bit better, and if you agree, Alan, but yeah, I feel like this is sort of a bit of a letdown from the Spielberg department. I don't know.
Yes, I agree. I do.
Again, he's just going with the material that was given to him in the book, so he kind of has to follow the plot, which that even makes it more justified to me to go, well, I still think Steven Spielberg did a great job with the plot he was given. But I don't know. I don't know if that's why it doesn't feel like a Steven Spielberg movie, is because he didn't write it / direct it or whatever. Well, he directed it, you know what I mean? Write it, you know, or put his own twist on it as much, or if that plot was just too shitty and he just tried to make it work the best he could. So sort of a confusing thing. But what did you think of Vince Vaughn in it and that sort of stuff?
I was trying to remember his name the whole movie. I'm like,
Owen Wilson. Is this Wedding Crashers too?
But it's weird. It looks like he actually slept in this movie. Like, he's always been that actor that has the big bags under his eyes. Like, yeah. That's why I didn't pick him. I'm like, but he doesn't look tired.
No. Jeff Goldblum seems tired throughout this movie. Oh, yes. Yeah. That's what it starts with. Then there's screaming and running.
I didn't mind him. I hated the whole gymnastics thing. Like,
oh, dude,
gymnasticking a raptor to death. No.
And then I hate it when she does the gymnastics thing and he goes, "She didn't make the team," or whatever like that. Oh, dude.
No.
Do you really think that the teachers were at school going, I'm impressed, because if that was when you were getting chased by velociraptors.
If you killed a velociraptor with this,
you know what? That would be impressive. So you know what? You're on the team. I don't know, man. That's just something that me and can't jive with. You know what I mean? And what did you think about the villains in this? Like the henchmen? I thought they were so forgettable. I thought that they were like almost like a budget villain, criminal.
Well,
Like
the main dude with
they
his,
just feel like
his big
shit.
elephant gun, the bald old guy. The
Yeah.
only reason I liked him was because I've seen him in other shit, and I'm like, hey, it's that guy. Look at you go.
Most forgettable villains in the world. You mate, dude. Oh, I don't even know what.
And
Like, out of all the things you could have been like, we're going to this island to steal these dinosaurs or whatever to hunt these dinosaurs. Like, that's the plot that Michael Crichton came up with for the book. There's some people that are a threat to the dinosaurs. Why? They're hunting them.
I still love that dude, that one bad guy there who's like gets eaten by those little lizards, and he's like little dinosaurs, and he's like, runs away, and they keep jumping on him. It's like, why are you just like breaking their necks? Why aren't you rolling on them? You're big.
It's so funny too how that dude's like a massive, like, you can just tell he's a piece of shit and he's an asshole and he's like, fuck you dinosaurs, like, you know, and then he fucking just gets I love how it like pokes his head out and it's like looking at him, like he's like throws like a rock at it. Get the fuck away! Just throwing rocks at him and shit. Now I love that too when he runs and he turns around. They go up and down like. But there's a couple of moments in it, like those parts pretty funny. But he deserved it, and he was like that was just shit villain.
He was the Nedry substitute, I feel.
Yeah, but no, because
It's just not as good.
Nedry had way more personality, way more substance, and like his plot was way more significant than what are you guys doing? Hunting. Go to safari, and we don't even want you to do that because we don't want you to kill safari animals. But whatever, like, go fucking boar hunting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just seems like the plot to me was like, remember this guy got paid like money before he wrote the first book? Well, like, wouldn't be surprised if he was like, pay up. The second one's going to be even better. And then like, he was lazy as shit. Okay, so apparently, this book, the second one, was started within a year after the first movie and was complete by the same. So, like, I think it took about a year for him to write the book to this movie. And it was like legit within a year of the first movie being released, I think, or something like that. We'll probably get into that with trivia. So I just feel like this guy was like, whoa, that was successful. I got a huge payday. You guys want a sequel? And they were like, yep. And he's like, oh, I'm right on this shit with no fucking idea. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's a bit of a letdown, but at the end of the day, it also wasn't terrible. I wouldn't put it on the plane of unwatchable. I wouldn't put it in the field of being boring. I would put it in, it was entertaining enough. It went on a little bit too long, but it wasn't like it was a chore to watch, and it wasn't like I didn't enjoy watching the movie. I think it was still a good time when you take into all the cool parts and the Steven Spielberg parts that we did get nailed it. This movie is a fun time, but compared to the first movie, it is just if you compare it to the first movie, it's a shit movie. If you don't compare it to the first movie, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how you want to look at this movie and how much you want to like it, I think, as well. You know what I mean? Because if you really want to like something, no matter how bad it is, usually you can come out of the movie with some positive feedback, yeah? And that's what I feel this movie is. People are going to come out of it and be like, well, as much as the San Diego bit was maybe a little lame or whatever, there was some parts that were cool. Or maybe, you know, as much as this movie was shit, at least the Raptors were fun to watch. Or at least I like Jeff Goldblum. That's what I mean. If you want to go in watching this movie and you want to like it, you probably will come out not being disappointed because you like it. But you won't come out going, whoa, that was fucking amazing. Like where people went and saw the first movie, literally came out and it changed their lives. So, but also I think when you're going up a movie of the caliber of Jurassic Park, when you're going up against that, you're never going to get better than that movie. Like, I think that any attempt to make a Jurassic Park movie after the first one was always going to fall short. And I don't know if you agree, but that first movie is just a masterpiece, and you can't touch it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I don't know if you feel like that's the same thing you feel about it, which is you don't hate it, and if people went into it liking it, that they'll feel like it was okay. But as I said, if you're comparing it to Jurassic Park, you're not going to like this movie most likely, or you will go whatever, So that's about as much as I can say on how
I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, like it's
a
easy
good
to go in.
feature, but it's nothing on the original.
It's easy to go into a movie hating it. It's harder to go in liking a movie and coming out with a movie that's been not very good and finding what you can like about the movie. So, I mean, but again, as I said, when I was a kid, I came out of this movie not hating it. I was just like, this part was cool and this part was cool. And I'm sure a lot of people that see it as an older person would be the same, like, yeah, well, it was a pretty bad movie, but there was this part which I liked, or there'll be a part that most people that find Jurassic Park or dinosaur movies interesting will find interesting. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically all I've got to say on my thoughts on it, and sort of, yeah, my thought, the reason I've been sort of like all over the place with my talking in this episode and stuff is because my mind still doesn't even know how to process this movie at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't hate it, but I also don't like it. So, I don't know.
It's okay.
Exactly. Which is more than I can say from memory of what the third one did for me at the cinemas, which I was in, would have been in primary school still. So I reckon I would have been grade 6, something like that. And I remember being in grade 6 and coming out of that movie and going, fuck, that movie was bad. So I haven't watched Jurassic Park 3 for a decade, maybe longer. So I can't say for sure if I'm going to like that movie worse than this or if I'm going to like it better. But so far, from memory, I like this one better so far, I think. We'll see next week. How long has it been since you've seen this movie, Lost World? And how long has it been since you've seen the third movie?
I've definitely seen the third movie more recent than this one. This one, I actually can't remember the last time I watched it. And watching it as well, there's a lot of moments where I'm like, oh yeah, this.
Yeah.
That. I forgot completely about the gymnastics scene, and when I saw it, I went,
Yeah. I thought, we should probably talk about her too. I thought Julianne Moore was very forgettable in this movie too.
Yes.
I thought that her character sucked and was boring. Don't know if she's quite as bad as Tia Leone. Again, we haven't watched that movie in a long time. But just for spoilers on some of my thoughts on Jurassic Park 3, I fucking hate Tia Leone in that movie. And ever since that movie, I've never been able to watch anything Tia Leone again. So, not looking forward to that shit next week.
At least she's attractive, though. I didn't find Julianne Moore more attractive.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say she's not attractive because, of course, she's a good-looking woman. But for my taste, I don't like either of them in my personal taste. And that's not being attractive has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's not about their looks; it's about their personality in it as well. Julianne Moore isn't annoying, but she's very boring, stale, and unmemorable. Tia Leone is annoying as fuck, like just flat out annoying. So it doesn't matter even if it was like one of the most attractive actors in Hollywood or in my personal tastes. If they played either of those roles, I'd still be like unforgettable and annoying, So, because I don't judge actresses on their looks, I judge on their personality that they portray, how well they did the job. But if they are attractive in my books, I will usually mention it off the cuff because I'm allowed to, So, like Megan Fox, she hot as fuck. So, anyways, with that, we'll quickly move on to some trivia before we move on to our ranking. So, let's get into the trivia. The dinosaurs all were named Alan.
What was their name again?
I believe it was something like.
My name is Alan.
It is. Okay, so Julianne Moore admitted that she did this movie to pay off a divorce settlement and to work with Steven Spielberg. Well, that would give you the answer as to why her performance was boring as fuck. She was like, I just want to leave Mick, or whatever his name was.
I'll do this so I can leave Bob.
The two models of the T-Rex each weighed 9 tons. Due to their weight, the crew constructed sets around them rather than having to move them onto the sets.
Wait, how many tons?
9.
Jesus Christ.
So what would that compare to? Because I'm bad with my tons and all that.
A lot of me.
Well, that'd be a lot of weed.
I think maybe. What is 9 tons? I feel a truck would be about 9 tons.
I'm gonna look it up. We have to do it now. 9-ton equivalent. So it's 8,164 kilos.
I
That's,
wonder how many quarter pounders that is.
I don't even know, man. All right, so here you go. There is roughly 50% more dinosaur action in this movie. So 50% more, if we're going for 14 minutes, would mean another 7 minutes at least.
So 21 minutes of dinosaur.
So 7 more minutes, basically. The vocalizations of the juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex wailing for its mother were the baby cries of a camel. So that's an interesting one.
That baby, that crying baby camel. That sounds rather baby dinosaurish. Let's use that.
Yeah.
And that grown dinosaur, we'll use an elephant and a tiger
and a moose and a jet. Initially, Steven Spielberg wanted to save the San Diego sequence for a third movie. However, he later decided to include it in this movie after realizing that he would probably not direct another installment in the franchise. After the twin hits of Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, Steven Spielberg took a rare sabbatical and didn't return to the director's chair until this movie. At around 1 hour and 45 minutes, the T-Rex can be seen scratching its head in a direct homage to the stop-motion T-Rex scratching its head in King Kong 1933, one of Steven Spielberg's favorite movies growing up.
Wow.
Like Jurassic Park in 1993, this shoot finished before the scheduled 74 days. It was completed in 69 days. Steven Spielberg confessed that during production, he became increasingly disenchanted with this movie, admitting, "I beat myself up, growing more and more impatient with myself. It made me wistful about doing a talking picture because sometimes I got the feeling I was just making this big, silent, raw movie. I found myself saying, is that all there is? It's not enough for me." Steven Spielberg and John Williams felt that the score of this movie needed to be slightly different to be heard in that was heard in Jurassic Park. Because it was a remote island chain, they added drums and bongos.
We need to sound exotic.
Yeah.
Add some bongos.
the T-Rex climax was actually filmed in San Diego and Burbank in California. What? Okay, now this is confusing. I don't know if we should read trivia anymore, because guess what this fact is?
What?
The sounds made by the baby. Oh, okay, nah, forget it. I thought it said Tyrannosaurus. I thought it was giving us a second animal that the Tyrannosaurus was gonna fucking sound like. But it says the sounds made by this baby Stegosaurus were taken from a rhinoceros. I thought they were talking about the Tyrannosaurus Rex baby again. I was gonna go. We just had a different fact that it was a camel, and now it's something else. 13 stunt performers worked on Jurassic Park in 1993, while 50 were used for this movie. At around 1 hour and 50 minutes, when the bus crashes into the video store, there is a poster of the Robin Williams film Jack that had been adapted to Jack and the Beanstacks. This is in the same shot as Arnold Schwarzenegger's King Lear poster. And we'll go with one more. As of 2016, this is the only sequel that Steven Spielberg has directed that is not related to the Indiana Jones film franchise.
Ah.
So there you go. Doesn't seem to be the sort of person that wants and enjoys to do sequels. So interesting.
This movie is probably why.
Well, it's a perfect example of why. But apparently he didn't like the Temple of Doom doing that movie when he did it. He didn't like that movie when it was finished. He said it was too dark for him. So I think that was a big factor into why he didn't want to do this sequel, because the last time he did do a sequel was Temple of Doom, and he came out less happy with it than the original. So maybe that's something to go on. Maybe Steven Spielberg's like sort of a one movie dude, and then he's like, if you want more, you can fucking take care of it.
Jeff can do it.
Yeah, Jeff can do it. Fuck. Jeff. Oh,
Jeff.
Sorry. Actually, you know who would be better at doing it? That's never going to get old. All right. Never. Especially next week when we actually talk about it. The puppetry is what gets me on it, man, because it literally looks like someone's got their hand up the Velociraptor, and it just goes, Alan. All right, so with that, we're going to go on to our ranking. Now, Alan, I'm going to start with you. Give us a little spin on what you like about this movie compared to the first one, what you don't like about, and where you're putting it.
I don't think there's anything about this movie that I like more than the first one, apart from the Raptors. I think they're a little cooler in the way they behave. I think they're a little bit closer to being sized correctly as well. Like, they're still too big, but they're still a little bit more small. But without a shadow of a doubt, this is definitely below the first one. This is number 2 for me. It doesn't scratch the surface of the first movie. It's a good movie, but no, it doesn't touch it.
We're clearly both in the same books, so we're just going to quickly bring it up now. That is our official ranking, both of ours. So we are both equal at the moment, which it's going to be interesting to see as we go further into this, into the movie reviews, what one we like more. Oh man, I'm telling you, if you put Jurassic Park 3 anywhere on the list but last, I think I'll die, because I'm pretty sure that's where that one's going to go. I don't know yet, but we'll see. So yeah, that's our ranking for it, and that's pretty much it. We think it was okay. We think that if you like Jurassic Park and you really want to like this movie, then you'll possibly find something in it that you really like. But we also think that if you don't like Jurassic Park, or you really like the first one and you're not looking for a new entry into the series, that maybe you should probably steer clear of this one and just make do with Jurassic Park, the original one, because as we said, it's sort of a movie that can't be beat. So that pretty much brings us to the end of our episode of Ranked and Reviewed for The Lost World Jurassic Park. Next week, we'll be doing Jurassic Park 3, obviously. But before we leave, we've obviously got to get into the prize, giving away this prize. Alan, would you like to, first of all, quickly reveal what our prize we are doing this time is? I can't see, so if
There we go. They are George Clooney, Batman.
that's the prize we're doing, guys.
I'm Batman.
So are we giving away 2 or 1?
We'll give away 2, I've decided.
Okay,
We'll have
so we're
2
gonna give
lucky
away 2.
winners.
All right, so give me a second. We're going to bring up, I'm going to make this wheel quickly with all our subscribers. Huh. One second. Jesus.
I bought them with my Bat credit card.
Oh, fuck. Put that thing away. Spin wheel. All right, so give me a second. I'm just pulling all the names into a wheel right now. Oh. Copy.
Why am I void of one-liners at this point from this movie?
I don't know, man. This is the time I need you to be talking right now because
It's a little bit cold that I couldn't do this. I was a little bit frosty.
what are you doing, man? All right. Sorry, I'm just fixing this up. Now, look, again, we have got 158 subscribers, yet it doesn't want to show us all the subscribers we have. So, if you have got your profile, your YouTube profile set to private, unfortunately, you will not be in the running for these prizes. So if you are a subscriber and you wanted to win and you didn't, please make sure you go into your YouTube settings and fix that up, because then you can be in the winning for a prize. But if we can't see you, we can't put you in.
No. So please, let us know who you are.
Exactly.
We want to give you things.
We do.
You need to let us do this.
Exactly. Just making sure I don't double up on anybody. Doesn't matter. I can edit all this shit out if I have to. Copy. All right. Well, look, I'm just going to put in that many. Hold on, I think.
Yay.
And we'll just go with that. So, anyone who, as I said, wants to win and didn't, and realizes they've got their profile on private, please set it for our next subscriber goal. It would help you win. It would help us. All right, I'm going to share the screen. This is all the people I could be bothered getting into it. So let's just deal with it, you know. So there's going to be 2 wheel spins. And if you win, we will contact you. And we're going to do 4 spins, yeah?
Yep.
So that 2 people, we're going to contact the 2 people that win. And if they refuse to get onto us when we've gotten onto them in the next week, we will get on to the following 2 people who will claim their prizes. So let's do it.
We are going.
So our first winner is Curtin the Singer.
I like it.
We're going to take that down. I'm taking it down now. He or she, them is the first winner. And now we're going to spin again. I'm first going to take them out, as they have won once already.
Farewell, curtain.
And we will do it again.
And we have
Big Red 420.
yeah, one of my favorite chewing gums and
Days.
yeah.
And now we will do the last two spins, and if those first people do not come up to us and claim their prize, or sorry, contact us and claim their prize, they will automatically go to these. So grey white.
Ah, yes. Good old Grey.
And the last one. Ilderam. Sorry if I didn't say your name right. So I will contact you all tonight and get you guys to send me your Ds, and we will get those sent out to you. So yeah, thank you to you guys for subscribing. Make sure, as I said, if you want to be in the winning for our next sub gold prize, which I'm thinking we will make 250. How do you feel about that?
I feel like that is a good number.
Me too. So
Gives you more time to collect random crap like this.
So yeah, you guys are going to get the George Clooney Batman, which is fucking awesome.
I
So
think it's a pretty good prize.
what we will do is we will also post a status about you guys winning this prize on the Facebook page. We'll put the names of who won, your YouTube usernames. So if you happen to see it, Alan, can I please get you to take a photo of the two pop vinyls in a really nice sort of way so that we can put them up on the internet and show what people got, and explain who won. And yeah, hopefully we hear back from them and get their details, and we'll send that out. No matter where you are in the world, whatever, cost nothing, we'll send it out. So yeah, that was our episode of Ranked and Reviewed for this week, where we did obviously the Lost World. So thank you for watching. Anything you want to say before we finish up, Alan?
Nice to see you.
I tell you, someday, Alan, someday, you're going to kill me. You're going to be the death of me, man. We will see you all next week for, actually, before we go, I'll quickly plug what's coming up this week. We have another episode of Louder Pop Culture Podcast going live, where we have some news about Jackass 4.5, the release date, hitting Netflix. We have some deleted scenes from Jackass that we're going to show off. We're going to talk about the possibilities of a new Uncharted game and a whole lot more in Louder Pop Culture Podcast. But also, we have a very cool special guest on Loud and Alternative Music Podcast this week, and that is to tie in with our special Ranked and Reviewed series for Jurassic Park. We have the really cool band Jurassic Park joining us on Loud and Alternative Music Podcast, who just released a brand new music video. Should definitely go check it out. It's very funny and a really cool song, and they seem like really cool guys. So that'll be live Friday for you all. And yeah, next week we're going to be doing Jurassic Park 3 Ranked and Reviewed. We can't wait to do that. Obviously, piece of shit movie. And we'd like to say thank you again for everyone that joined us tonight. So yeah, that's it. As usual, I'm your host, Tomye West. And joining me, as always, is my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks.
Peace.